Moodz616 sucks fucking dick. What a fucking asshole, man. I met him at Wasteland. Fucking dickhead. Goddamn. Fuck him, man. Fuck.
A tisket, a tasket, a bloody, bloody basket. Cut his head and ate his leg. Now he's in a casket.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Well, I was just about to dig into this meat pie, but, you know what? Instead, I'm going to do this review first, but, you know, I'm going to save this for later, so yeah. Alrighty, yeah, let's get right into this. Anyways, guys, welcome to episode 5 of my random horror review series. Yeah, today I am going to be reviewing a film from 1970, and this is actually a request from not one but two fellow YouTubers. First of all, Zach, also known as Movie Collector 616, and Gary, also known as Kulfi. Unfortunately, Gary doesn't really do YouTube videos anymore. He didn't want to fall victim to the whole Google turnover, so he said "fuck you guys," and he didn't change over. So, but that's cool though. But I do miss you, Gary. So if you're watching this video, maybe you'll come back one day. But yeah, anyways, this was a request that they wanted me to do, and yeah, I had absolutely no problem with that. So, a Grindhouse film, actually released by Grindhouse Releasings, from 1970. A lot of people know about this one, and it goes by the title of "I Drink Your Blood." Just such fantastic cover art on this, man. I've always loved the cover art. It's just fucking fantastic. So yeah, so getting into the plot of this one. It centers around a group of basically lost satanic hippies. So basically what these guys are doing, they're just wandering through the country, just stirring up havoc and doing whatever. And they are led by this guy named Horace. He's like a Native American, and he's basically kind of like your Charles Manson type character. He's got long hair. He believes that he is the son of Satan. He's the leader of this group, and they do sacrifices. They sacrifice things to, for Satan and stuff like that. So they're just they're a devil worshipping satanic cult, basically up to no good. So, anyways, one day they actually end up assaulting this girl and raping this girl and whatnot, and she ends up escaping from them and making her way back into her little small town. But unfortunately for these guys, they have this vehicle, they fucking ditch it. Anyways, they end up in this small town where this girl lives. And so shortly after that, it's like a really small town. Like the population is like 40 or 50 people. So there's like nothing there. So basically what they do is they take over like this abandoned hotel that's there. They just kind of break in and just kind of take it over and just set up shop in there and stuff. So the girl's grandfather he ends up finding out about the assault and stuff like that. So what happens is one night he goes over to this abandoned hotel where everyone's staying and they're doing all their rituals and all that other shit and stuff like that. But he goes over there, to teach him a lesson and stuff. It doesn't go very well for him. They kind of beat him up, and then eventually they give him this drink, and it's spiked with LSD. So it kind of fucks him up, and he goes all crazy and shit, which is actually a really fucking funny scene. And the sister's younger brother, his character's name is Pete. He takes big time offense to this for fucking up his grandpa and raping and beating his sister up and stuff. And so what he does, Pete works at the local bakery, and now there's not really a lot of places in the city to go and eat and stuff. So these hippies and stuff, they keep coming to the bakery every day. So he gets this bright idea of injecting these meat pies with the blood of a rabid dog that he had shot and killed the night before. So the next day he injects all these meat pies with the blood of this rabid dog, and he ultimately sells it to these hippies, and they eat it and they fucking go batshit crazy, and they start wreaking havoc on the whole city and everybody else and shit like that. So so that is the plot of this film if you've never seen it. My thoughts on this one. Now, I've always been a huge fan of this film. It's so Grindhouse. It's so low budget. It's what I love about this movie. It has so much charm. The acting in the film is not great. There's a lot of bad acting in this film, which really adds to the charm, if you know what I mean. The soundtrack is just that really cheesy, low-budget, really bad synth soundtrack from like 1970. Like, it's just somebody hitting notes and shit. It's just, it adds to the experience so well. It does have some pretty good gore. You know, there's a scene in this film that every time I watch it, it cracks me up. It's where this dude, I won't say what happens, but he ends up cutting off the foot of this guy with this axe, and it's just the way it goes down is just absolutely fucking hilarious. Yeah, so there's some pretty cool scenes and stuff. Basically, you know, the second half of the film is basically when it all starts kind of get going and everything kind of goes batshit crazy in this. But I do like the fact that like all these hippies are running around with their mouths foaming with white shit and stuff like that, like rabid dogs. I think that's pretty funny and stuff. This movie is kind of like, whenever I think of this film, I always think of 28 Days Later. It's just very kind of reminiscent to that. It's just an infection film, you know. It's just they got this disease and they're just going batshit crazy. This one just, it has so much charm, though. It's just, it's not a very well-made film, but I gotta say, though, the sets used in this totally feel legit. Like, it really does feel like this small town with, like, 2 houses and a bakery. I really did enjoy that. Yeah, you know, it's one of those films that, you know, I think every time I watch this, I'm like, you know what? I love this film, but I would actually like to see, like, an updated version of this. You know, this is, like, I'm generally not, you know, pro remakes and stuff like that, but I would actually like to see this film remade, because you could get real fucking nasty with it, too. Just the whole premise of that is just fucking filthy. And what I mean, you know, the meat pies and stuff. Watching them eat the blood-infected rabid meat pies in this film literally makes me fucking gag. It's just like, it's fucking so gross. It's just filthy nasty, man. But yeah, so getting back to like your Charles Manson type character, Horace, he's like this really kind of built like Native American guy. I really do like his character, man. He's just batshit crazy. When he gets infected, he's just off the deep end, man. Insane. There's actually this black guy in the film, too, that he does a good job, actually. I gotta say, like, his acting when he gets all rabid infected and stuff is pretty crazy, man. Like, he actually legitimately seems like he's fucking insane. So, you know, I guess there's, like, some decent parts of acting in this and stuff, but overall, you know, it is what it is, man. It's a very low-budget film, but very memorable. This one has a lot of memorable parts in it. Really cool stuff. I really like the end of this film, man. It's very reminiscent of, like, Night of the Living Dead for me, actually, the way this thing kind of goes down. You know, and they're so hinting at, you know, this being like a Charles Manson type deal and stuff. There's a scene where they actually, like, they're doing this ritual and stuff, and they actually write the word pig on this guy, which we all know what that means. But, yeah, it's a fun fucking movie, man. I absolutely really enjoy this movie. It's awesome. I don't really know what else to say about it. I don't really want to give anything else away about it. It's a really short film. It runs about 83. This is actually the uncut director's cut of it, so I think it runs about 10 minutes longer than the other version and stuff. And you really do notice it, actually, because when you're watching the film, it'll cut in, and obviously the quality lowers. And some of the stuff that they did cut out of this film, I'm not even 100% sure why they did cut it out. You know, some of it actually is kind of needed there. I think the whole scene with the grandpa being infected with the LSD, not infected, but while he's on LSD and stuff, I think that was actually cut out of the original cut of this film. Which makes no sense, actually, because that's theoretically the motive for Pete to, you know, infect these pies and stuff. I mean, obviously his sister being raped, but the grandpa was kind of what threw him over the edge and stuff. But really cool film, man. There's one girl in this film. They don't have anybody. She plays the mute girl in this film. She doesn't have any lines, of course, because she's mute. But what the fuck? Her name's Lynn something. I've seen her in tons of stuff. She's been in tons and tons of movies. I know that she was in The Crazies, and she was actually in the remake too. But she's been in like 30 movies in like the last like 4 years. It's insane. But like, she didn't really do a lot in between, like, you know, in the 80s and stuff. But yeah, if you saw what she looked like, you'd definitely recognize her. She's been in a lot of stuff. But it's so interesting to me that she's just she's always there in this film, but she has no lines. Yeah, so if I had to rate this one, man, I gotta go with, like, this is like a 9 out of 10 for me. I know it's like, people are probably like popping out like 9 out of 10, but I think this movie's fantastic. I love the cheesy synth soundtrack to this, man. It's so fantastic. The bad acting, but really good gore effects, though. Cool story, disgusting storyline, actually. It's just one of those ones, but you explain it, you go, yeah, that really does happen in this film. Really cool stuff, man. You know, definitely check this out if you've never checked it out. And once again, I want to give a big shout out to my man Zach and Gary for, you know, recommending that I do a review of this one, because this is just fantastic. I love revisiting this film. So, but yeah, I Drink Your Blood from 1970. Check out this piece of, you know, classic cinema right here. It's awesome. And you know what? That is going to do it for me, and I will be back with episode 6 sometime. I've been actually getting random requests from people recently, so some of those I will be doing and stuff. So I'm going to enjoy my meat pie right now, because the movie obviously made me want to eat some meat pies, and yeah, I will check you guys later. Peace!